Hello, leaders, and welcome to part 4 of this beautiful Love Note series created just for you. Today, I want to talk about masculine money manifestation and mindset tools that are kind of spiritually bypassy and not really great for women who want to step into their next levels of success. So, there is a big thread in the spiritual wellness world around transcending your emotions. A lot of that language is actually misunderstood or misinterpreted. So you may or may not have seen it where they put a measure of frequency on emotions. And though that is likely correct, what this also implies is that there are bad feelings and good feelings, and you cannot feel the bad feelings, and you should only ever feel the good feelings. And a lot of teaching out there actually encourages us to not feel our anger, not feel our grief, not feel our sorrow, not feel our sadness. Basically, anything deemed as not joyful, blissful love state. Now, I don't know about you, but I have no desire to be in a constant state of bliss. I just think that's not realistic. Would it be great to always feel blissful? Sure. But if your teacher is condemning you for not being spiritual enough, not having a strong enough mindset, not focusing enough on like how to transcend your quote unquote negative feelings, when you jump out of bliss, you're going to feel shame, guilt, and that inner critic is going to get real loud. And this impacts business because I see so many successful women, just like you, jump into money manifestation courses, jump into mindset courses, and jump into spiritual woo-woo courses. Now, here's what I want to say. All of those are useful and valuable. They're actually all great tools to understand. And if you want to lead like a woman, the woman-led way, doing everything from your head and your mindset and leaving your body to transcend a feeling or to be up in the ethers in the 10th dimension, you are doing yourself a bit of a disservice at the end of the day, because it's not realistic for a human to not participate in what it means to be a human, which is involving feelings. It's also not realistic to expect a woman to manifest the same way the masculine does. In fact, masculine energy is meant to be a bit more stoic, meant to be a bit more logical, meant to be a bit more grounded, and also, I mean, the masculine energy does so much better with structure, discipline, really focusing on stillness, slowness, so they can be that rock or that anchor. And though as a woman, you have aspects of that energy within you, when you're only trying to acknowledge those pieces in the way that you operate in life, I feel like I'm a broken record here, but I'm going to say again, in this episode, you're going to burn out. Because one of the things that makes women women is our emotions and our emotional intelligence. The intelligence that we feel through the body, because emotions are just energy in motion. And even Abraham Hicks talks about trying to invite you to get into the vortex. And what she means when she says that is like feel the feeling fully, not transcend the bad feeling, but see how you can alchemize the emotion so that you can come back to a feeling that feels really good. Even in Joe Dispenza's work, he often talks about, not feeling your feeling, but feeling the feeling you want to feel. And I want to pause for a second there because I think a lot of that teaching has been very misinterpreted and can be causing some people harm. think about this for a second. If you were the child that was punished, that was told they were too much, that was sent to their room, that was spanked, that was ignored when you had a big emotion, and now your spiritual teacher, your money manifestation coach is telling you your feelings don't matter. Don't let your feelings run the show. It's like doing quite serious harm. Because I don't know about you, but every single layer of success that I've unraveled comes with a very resistant, scared inner child who needs to have a voice to feel safe to go to those next levels of expansion and growth, which requires me to feel my feelings. The feminine way of manifestation is feeling your feelings, not transcending them. It's alchemizing them. What do I mean by alchemizing them? It's feeling them through the body. This is a body-based business that you're running as a woman. It's not a head-based business. Yes, even craniosacral therapy is not a head-based business. It's a joke if you know what craniosacral is. So if we are wanting to manifest, if we are wanting to be spiritual in a feminine way, feminine is wild. Feminine is embodied. Feminine is sensual. She's turned on by life. She feels so good in her skin. She doesn't actually let her head lead the way. She finds her unique balance in understanding that she has masculine traits and feminine traits, and both matter. This is what my desire is for you, is to find a balance that feels good for you. But every single woman I know has that protector in her, which is your inner masculine, by the way, that triggers the overthinking, the self-doubt, the anxious thoughts, the worry thoughts, the ruminating thoughts, the logic over emotion, the if I just push through, everything's going to be okay. And all that does is you're operating from your neck up and you're entirely ignoring your physical body. Now, when we ignore our physical body in regards to our growth, what do you think happens? Again, women running a body-based business, just like you, or maybe you're going to learn how to do that, are the ones that thrive. Your inner child matters. Your emotions matter. Your nervous system matters. Your vagus nerve matters. Your intuition matters. And everything else, your womb, your voice, the sensations in your fingers and toes all matter. Does your mindset matter? Yeah. Does meditation work for women? Yeah. Is there a point in time when we're too much in our feelings that we can't actually get to where we're going to go? Yeah. In fact, you can be too feminine and never get where you want to go because you're only in your feelings and running your business based on how you feel. Authentic body-based business doesn't have to fake it. I've shown up for my Shifu week calls and been like, first day of my bleed, not feeling my best. I've shown up and said, I'm grieving this issue. Here I am, present with you still. I've even done that with one-on-one clients before where I've just said, this is where I'm at. I'm still here and present for you, and I'm letting you know what's going on for me. To be honest, in all my years of doing this work, in group work and one-on-one work with different therapists, coaches, healers, I don't think I've ever heard any of them say that and be truly honest with how they feel. Yeah, I don't think so. let's start a revolution together, shall we? Being honest with our clients how we feel, being honest with our business support team, honest with how we feel, running a workshop and being honest with how we feel. It's worked for me many, many times. If I'm feeling anxious about something, I name the anxiety and I name the emotion, and suddenly it has no more power. Emotions are little clues to what's possible. And when we only focus on the mind, then all we're doing is telling that little kid inside of us that somehow, somewhere, she needs to make sense of how she feels instead of feel how she feels. And if you were the kid who had to process by herself behind closed doors, because that was often my case, we start to intellectualize our emotions at a young age, but not from a place of actual ability to make sense of it. So the logic brain is only fully developed until you're about 25. So everything prior to 25, you have a harder time accessing your problem solving because it's just not developed properly in your brain yet. So when a child gets sent to their room for feeling a feeling, that child goes, I am bad. And then that child goes and tries to figure out what behavior that they did that triggered that reaction because they don't want to feel the pain of neglect ever again. Except the other maladaptive survival strategy that that child does as she turns into a young adult and a teen is she goes, well, I don't want to bother people with my tears, so I'm going to just feel them by myself in my bedroom and no one will ever know how I feel, and I'll come out and I'll wear a mask and pretend like everything's okay. And she bypasses how she feels. And then she might do the yoga course and the silent meditation retreat and feel like she's so connected to herself. And she's transcended the rage and the resentment and the anger that's sitting in her gut from that years and years and years of being rejected when she was feeling something big. And there comes a turning point in every woman's life where she is like, no more. And that can come for a woman in her 20s, that can come 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, but there is that turning point. And that's often where I meet many of my clients actually, is in that turning point of going, oh shit, I don't know how to ask for my needs. I don't want to keep repeating the same patterns from growing up. I want to do something different than the rest of my family. This pattern isn't working for me. I'm kind of feeling like I've lost my zest, my spark, and I don't even know where it is or how to access it, or even if I ever accessed it. Because when you mute your emotions, you mute all of them, by the way. You can't just like cherry pick like, oh, whatever feels joy. It's not actually the human experience. And here's the thing. I love so many spiritual practices, and if they invite you to not be human, are they actually spiritual? Because, like, think about this. You are a soul in a human body on this planet right now. The most spiritual experience you can have is living your life as a human. And I get, again, it doesn't sell when you say things like that because a lot of spiritual teachings want to tell you that you're doing something wrong, fear you into believing something else, and guilt and shame you into feeling like you're not enough, or feeling like you need to do more, or feeling like something is wrong and you need fixing, saving, healing. And then the money manifestation. Okay, full disclosure, personal share. There was a few years ago where I was like obsessed with understanding money manifestation, and I was listening to this male teacher talk about money manifestation on all his podcasts, and I was literally like every single day I would go for a walk and listen to a podcast about how to make more money, how to manifest more money. I read the books, like all the things. And then there was a point like a few months in, and I was like, all these books and teachings are doing is making me focus on something I don't have. And if I'm using law of attraction methodologies, or if I'm thinking about how even energy works, it doesn't make me feel good in my body to think about what's missing. So when you're manifesting from a place of scarcity and lack, you only attract more scarcity and lack. When I was obsessing about money, it was because I didn't have any at the time. Or at least, no, I shouldn't say I didn't have any. I didn't have what I wanted at the time. So I was trying to seek a solution instead of feel the fear. Now, I wish I had me back then to tell me that the key to unlocking my deepest desires is to process my feelings every single step of the way and to be with my body every single step of the way. And that's such a woman way of attraction, right? Feminine is literally the most magnetizing energy because she is so damn present and attuned to how she feels. She's not so damn present and attuned to what she thinks. Yeah, it's a part of it. But girl, it's all in the body. The magic is in the body. And the other part I want to say, this might be controversial. The closest thing to God, to source, to the universe, to light is being a woman who literally has the capacity to turn something divine, like a soul, into human form. We literally manifest life. You cannot get more holy than that. You cannot get more divine than that. Being a woman is a spiritual experience. Bleeding every month, going through the hormonal cycles of the seasons and your monthly cycle. These are all things that women for centuries really revered within themselves because they knew it connected them to a higher power. And this isn't to say that men are not spiritual, but a masculine path to the divine is going to look different than a feminine path to the divine. Masculine path to money is going to look different than a feminine path to money. A masculine path to success is going to look different than a feminine path to success. And so on and so on. And I'm here to teach you as a feminine leader who practices every single day to embody her feminine. And I'm not pretending that I'm perfect every single damn day because my default survival strategy is to get into my head and intellectualize because I was left alone in my feelings. So I've got a strong intellectualizer in my head. So how do I contradict that and balance it? Is I also have to practice being in my body more. I'm going to guess that you probably can practice a little bit of that too. If you want to practice that in a group container, we do that every week in She for We. We always do something to drop us into the body because the body holds wisdom when you are a woman. The body holds the wisdom when you are a woman. So if you're scared of scarcity, if you're in the mindset manifestation, spiritual, highly intellectualized programs, courses, books, if you're into that, by all means, keep going in that. And balance it with some wild feminine practices like dance, movement, somatic touch, art, creativity, getting your hands dirty, being muddy in a garden, like running barefoot on the beach, just being turned on by life and literally just turned on. When's the last time you felt actually turned on? Think about that. Does your business turn you on? Does your purpose turn you on? I know mine does. I sometimes forget, so then I just have to come back and remind myself. Like, I get to do this work. I get to, and it's so exciting for me to be sharing this work with you. Find your balance. We can do that together one-on-one. We can do that in She for We. We can even do a bit of that in a human design package too. I invite you to pay attention in your next week, the entire week, I should say, to observe how you feel every day and observe how quickly you swallow your emotions. Observe how quickly you want to distract yourself from your feelings, and observe how quickly you want to jump to understanding your emotions rather than feeling your emotions. You don't need to feel them just yet. Just notice. Pay attention. Maybe you want to say, hi. Hi, body. Hi, inner child. Hi, anger that I haven't wanted to express. Hi, I witness you. I see you. And maybe I'm a bit scared of you, but I don't have to be. You don't have to do it by yourself anymore. You don't have to do it by yourself anymore. Check out the show notes to figure out all the ways that we can support you so that you don't have to do it by yourself anymore. Much love to you.